We kicked off with a win from Judd Trump in the Shanghai Masters. And, I mean, we've got to talk about the likes of John Higgins, the Mark Selby's, the Kyron Wilsons, the Judd Trumps as well. And, Jimmy, the titles come thick and fast. The amazing thing about the snooker calendar now is there are so many events. Yeah, there's so many tournaments. You know, for John Higgins to find form and get a couple of titles under his belt just shows you, you know, the mental and the self-belief Higgins has got back now. None of these players are really ever going to be cold with if they play in all the tournaments. And it obviously affected Ronnie O'Sullivan by not playing in many events. You know, he come here very cold, not playing since January. Yeah, well said. This season's given us a lot, but unfortunately we have lost something as well. Actually, 4 great Crucible men have sadly passed away this season, Al.
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost 4 great men of snooker: Ray Reardon, Clive Everton, Mark Wildman, and then, of course, the Griff. On the evening that Judd Trump won the UK Championship final against Barry Hawkins, a very poignant day and evening for all of us. 4 brilliant men steeped in Crucible history. Yeah, thank you for mentioning them, Al. Now, what we've done here is to take a look back at the season. We've categorised a handful of different, if you like, segments, and then we're going to ask these guys who their favourites of each one is. So to kick off with, Player of the Year for you, Rianne.
It's a tough one because there's been some great players there, but winning things. But I go for Kyron. I think he obviously won the 4 events, won quite early on after lifting that World Trophy, and I thought he wore that mantle really well. Winning 4 events, being World Champion, could you ask for much more apart from doing well in the following year's World Championship, which he'd probably think is a disappointment, but definitely not. That season's been fantastic and is a great ambassador for the sport as well. Well said. Jimmy?
I'll go with Trump and Wilson joint. Obviously, it was Ding Tong.
On the fence. No,
because they've both played solid and consistent stuff. You know, they've played each other in I think you beat Trump in 3 of the finals. But obviously, if Ding Tong wins this World Championship, I will go right off the fence and go to him. But definitely, them 2 guys, you know, listen, to win these tournaments, it's not just the skills. They have to put in lots of dedication, lots of practice. They're away from their families, so every credit to them. So I'll go joint Wilson and Trump.
And to complete the set, Al?
I'm going to go for Judd. Just, you know, 3 wins, 3 finals, lots of other big moments, and, yeah, Trumpy for me.
OK, so not many surprises there, but how about we have a surprise category? So, Rianne, surprise package of the season.
Yeah, I've gone for Lepe Fan, winning the Scottish, ranked roughly 8-ish in the world, was he, at the time. And to be fair to him, he played really well, really consistent. Didn't blow anyone away, but he never went away either. I thought he was fantastic, and he got his little stomp around the table, which I like to see when he's playing, I just thought he was fantastic.
You also the Seth Rollins from WWE entrance music, which everyone loves. When I say everyone, certain people love it. Jimmy, what about yourself?
Well, I'm going for Yao Ying Tong, really, because, you know, he's come off that Q tour, like, won near enough all the events, like best of 5s, you know, very hard to do that on these big pockets. And not really surprised how good he is, but, I mean, it's a sort of a surprise package how he won that so easily, and he's now showing us how good he is at the Crucible.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Alan?
Zhao Guodong for me, you know, he's had a breakthrough season after being a pro for about 17 years now. There he is winning in Yushan. He also got to the final of the International. He got to the semis in Germany, likewise in Scotland. He beat Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan on the same day at the Champion of Champions. He got to the final of that. The hits keep on coming. You know, he's been brilliant. And, you know, after bearing in mind, you know, being a pro for more than 15 years and then getting on it, he's going to be a big factor next season.
OK, we're going to slightly up the ante and ask you for a player, but you give a 1-sentence explanation. So, best comeback, Rianne.
We went for Judd Trump against Wu Yiza in the Saudi 4-0 down. Great comeback, 5-0.
I agree, actually. Sorry, Rianne. The Safari twins.
We got to stick together, Al.
Yeah, we agree on that one. Yeah, I'm the same. Judd coming back in Saudi against Wu Yiza.
It was unreal.
I'm going to go for John Higgins. He was 5-1 up against Mark Selby and then 8-5 down and won 10-8.
There have been some unbelievable clearances at this year's Crucible, by the way. Now we go for clearances. Rianne, one sentence again, please.
Again, Judd Trump, Saudi final. Mark Williams rattled that red for that 500k, and Jo was fuming, wasn't she?
Yeah, devastated.
Yeah, this red here. He must have thought that was in when he hit it. I think he started walking, but yeah, that clearance from Judd was ridiculous.
I actually asked her before that frame, I said, what are you going to spend the cash on? I shouldn't have asked that question. And yourself, Al?
I'm going to go for, actually, just last night, the final frame that Zhao Xintong won to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan. Look, it wasn't, when you take it shot for shot, the best clearance, but look at this one. He's got reds dotted all along the end cushion. He's under a bit of pressure to put the match away, or he comes back this afternoon to get the job finished. Still got problems there. Drifted that one in as if it was over the pocket and went on to complete an unbelievable victory. So I'll just give it to Xintong for that one there.
In the biggest match of his life. And Jim?
Judd Trump, you know, the clearance against Mark Williams, you know, like, that was such an incredible match, and Mark Williams just missed that red. And for him to step in under that extreme pressure, you know, just shows his mettle. Like, the first red in the middle pocket was so missable, and he went on to do a fantastic clearance.
Yes, what a moment it was. And talking about moments, best moment of the season, Rianne?
Yeah, Jackson Page, for me. The 2 147s.
Yes.
I know it was in qualifying, but he just walks around as if he was at the practice table playing Willow and then playing for dinner or for Nando's, maybe. But
that's pressure.
Yeah,
Nando's.
I mean, it probably helped him that it was over 2 days, the session, so he could, like, chill out a little bit. But fantastic, and he's a great guy and great talent, really raw talent. He's brilliant to watch, so, and just obviously become a new father, so, yeah. He needs $1.
Yeah, right. Well said. Yes, Al?
I'm going the same. Safari twins. Same as Rianne. Exact same. Jackson Page. No, brilliant. First time ever. There'll only be a first time, and he was a man to do it. And, yeah, fantastic.
Jim?
I'm going to go with Murphy at the Masters. You know, that's such an incredible atmosphere to make a 147 and to win. You know, he's sort of been there and thereabouts, didn't really have the belief, started working with Peter Ebdon. All of a sudden, like, he went on to win the Masters and nearly made 2 147s, actually. He snookered himself on the yellow, but made one. Didn't miss a ball with 53 shots with the rest during that tournament, didn't miss a ball, so that's my one.
He loves the 147 on Eurosport. I remember his one at the shootout. That was unbelievable. But finally, to complete the set, best young player, Rianne?
There is a few, but I'm going to go for young Stan Moody.
Nice.
His first 2 years on the tour, he's managed to stay on, which is not an easy thing to do. And I think he's grown from his first year, so he's always improving. I've practiced with him a little bit at the early start when he first turned pro, but yeah, I think he's a great talent, and I think he could do well in the pro circuit.
And he looks exactly like Sean Murphy's kid, I imagine would look like. Al, what about yourself?
I'm going to go for a one-time ladies world champion. Bai Yulu.
Nice.
She doesn't have 12, like Rooney here.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but she had a brilliant performance in the UK Championship. Now, when you think about Judgment Day to get to the Crucible, the last round, she got to the Judgment Day at the UK Championship. She beat Farah Kajeb, she beat Jamie Jones, she beat Scott Donaldson and fell in the final hurdle to Jack Lazowski, no less. She played brilliant. I mean, you know, you're talking best of 9s, best of 11s. To beat players of that calibre, she's a real player.
And Jim, finally.
I'd like to you know, see Stan Moody, you know, start, you know, come through, because it was all this talk about him, you know, being the next best thing, and he did struggle. But Wiwiza, for me, is like the young player of the year who's completely, you know, showing us now how good he is. He can win tournaments. Only just lost to Mark Williams. So he's my other one.
Well said, Jim. Not on the fence at all again, Jim. You were bang on with that one. And so that completes our 6 sets of the season.